That's like my filler.
We're freaking live.
Freaking live.
We'll do it live. Hey everyone, welcome back to the BentBox.
The BentBox.
I just erased half my note. I'm Chris.
I'm still John.
What?
Yeah, haven't changed.
All right, so we have a special guest today. He's already in the way. He's in the wings.
He's
whatever
waiting.
they
Sounds like
call
he's in
it.
the hospital.
Yeah, he's waiting. So we got all of our crap to get through, and then we'll bring him on. Because we got a lot of. At least I have a lot to go.
I was going to say. What's your surprise?
Hey.
Surprise.
Well, hold on. I need to find.
Do I have to hide the logo for like Coke Zero?
No, we've been over this with Absurdly. They ain't coming for us. You don't need to worry about that. All right, there we go. I opened it up. So I got something cool in the Miz Ale.
That's how you pronounce that.
So.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, how does it work? This just looks terrible. But
no, it looks good.
And that's my. So I took where we would normally put the number 1.
Yeah.
And I just basically cut out the 3 hats for the 3 main characters for artificial. So that's kind of like the spin for that. And I was figuring, I got it from Sticker Mule.
I was going to ask where you got the shirt from.
And it's real comfy. And it's got like kind of the cut right here, the stitch, the low stitch. That way, you pop, me and you, we pop. All our gym broness.
I'm not feeling very poppy. I'm on that part of the bulk where you start to feel like you're getting like you've taken the bulk too far. Yeah, you're starting to feel fluffy, and I'm like, I want to go backwards now.
Well, I feel fluffy all the time. I just haven't been working out though because I've been so busy. I've just been freaking busy. But anyway, it's nice. It's a nice shirt. So I say Sticker Mule's where we get them from. Maybe if we want to keep this design and then use that like block area for like the last one, maybe like the swirl in the wand or just the last one logo or something would be really cool. Yep. But I like it. It's a little long. Like it kind of like goes a little too far down, but it's not
bad. What size is that? Large?
XL. I'm not in a large. What are you talking about? Last time I was in a large, I was 15, so that's not a thing anymore.
I was like 110 when I was 15.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
There's our main man.
Oh, that's me.
That's you. So, in case Ziggy missed it, we got merch. Kind of, but anyway, this is my con shirt for next year. So I got it in kind of as a test because I found like a cheap version of it or like a trial. So I got it. Really nice. So that's what we'll do. Next, I'm gonna blow through my stuff that way we can get our guy in here because it's like 1 a.m. his time or something like that. So I feel bad. Yeah, no, it's another Ben Gibbons all over again.
I'm surprised the guy even came up.
Does it come in a 4X? I could
Ziggy,
have my wife
in the freaking gym, bro.
That could, it could come in a 3X if you get in the gym.
We'll drop it an X for you.
Yeah, we'll drop 1X for you. So I'm really pumped about this. Next, remember how I had that idea for Comic Book Jam?
Yes.
So me and Ben and I did some logo designs just to kind of play around with it. He wrote up like this long, like I think I mentioned to you, he wrote up this long spiel for pitches and everything. Looks really official, really good. I went in there and kind of edited it and tweaked it here and there just so that we kind of fine-tuned it. But he's going to go to Thought Bubble and talk to some of the uppity-ups and see if he can maybe work it in to get Comic Book Jam 2025.
Oh,
no, it'd be 2024 because we're So basically, the next Thought Bubble might have the BentBox presented Comic Book Jam.
That would be pretty sick.
I'm really excited for that. I hope Ben kills it. He sounds like he's confident and he might be able to do it, so I'm hoping. Anyway, let me share my screen. I'm going to go over the 6 designs we made, and the one that is good.
That's how it goes, right?
That's how it goes. Hold on.
I'm sure Ben will do. Ben will do great.
I'm hoping. I mean, he's he kind of makes it seem like he's got some connections.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. All right. You see it?
Yeah, I do. This is not the good one, is it?
What do you mean? This is the best one. Okay. So this was our first one.
Okay. I figured.
Didn't like it. I liked the idea. So what we ended up going with was more minimalistic with just shapes.
Okay.
So that was the first one. Didn't love it, but it was an idea. Second one. Much better. Yeah. I like the simplicity to it. We can kind of mess around with the colors a bit, and maybe that could add to it, or just black and white.
I like the ooh mom in the middle.
Ooh mom.
Oh mom. Yeah.
I like it too. So this was the discovery of I love this font. So now all of them will have that font.
Okay. All right.
So don't like it. Tried to play around with basically this first design, and I wasn't, but with the different font, not a huge fan. Basically just changing the composition.
Yeah.
Now we're lined up on this side. This is kind of where, you know how I said I'm super like anal about things? Like this is where it comes into me going like, here's 7 designs that all look very similar. But it's just to make sure that I kind of figure out which one looks best.
More to choose from.
Here's another one. I kind of made this part of the J. I would fix it, make it more official looking, but it was just kind of just to elongate it. That way this line is kind of uniform.
Yeah.
And then the clear best one.
So we just went from every design being similar to just, let's throw them in boxes.
I mean, it's the best one, right?
It is definitely the best one.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what was I doing with these?
I don't see mom in this one, so it's better.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's better.
Just homage.
Yeah.
So, both Ben and I agree this is the best one. I think we are going to make this the letterhead for all the pitches. So this is going to be on the top.
All right.
And then obviously we can put it maybe like hold on. Maybe like right here would be the UK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe down here, and then US for us. For us over here. So just that way we have kind of just the area it would be in. And so now that you see it, stop sharing. That's going to be, I'm going to go privately or go to a different place and have that put on the back of our shirts.
Okay.
Just as like a,
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a thing, right?
I'm trying to make it a thing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll
see if it's a thing.
Good.
What do you think, Ziggy? Clearly the best one was the best one. That's what I'm hoping you say. All right, I'm gonna keep going. We'll get you in here soon, Starmillion. Like we said, around 8:30, but I might get you in here quicker. So, nice update from you, John. Thanks for the input. Moving on to something new from me. I wanted to talk to you about the lecture and how it went.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You got soothing music. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. Who would have clicked that button? That's crazy.
I feel
somebody's
super
playing.
Relaxed.
Somebody's playing to my right. I hired him for tonight.
Yeah. Just on a squatch or a bench press machine.
So we gotta make like 10K for this video because that's how much it was.
Fair. All right. It feels worth it. We'll figure it out. So I gave a lecture. It went insanely well.
Kids?
To a bunch of high schoolers at a local high school. So I did this whole presentation about. Hold on.
You can read it loud.
I
like it. Period. Although I like comic books and jam and yellow and red sound effects. Nope. Below comic book. Oh.
Okay, so that was incoherent babble.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Which is fine. Ziggy's drunk, so we'll figure it out later. The thing went very well. So I had all these high schoolers. I'm friends with the art director at a local high school. I didn't realize this. I go back with her since I was 5 years old. I forgot that I knew her that long ago. We used to be.
I forgot.
She used to live like
10 years old. So.
Yeah, exactly. She was used to live down the road, but so Had me go in there. It wasn't a lot of kids. It was maybe 30. So decent.
Mm-hmm.
I gave the presentation. It went fairly well. Sable came along with me. She kind of helped direct it and like do the slides and stuff. The funny thing is, I walk in, and this is just neither here nor there. But the very first thing that happens when I walk in is this girl with autism.
The mega fist. Oh.
Yeah, right. This girl with autism has a breakdown as soon as I walk in the door. And I'm like, oh no. But basically, she likes to paint. And so she always paints. And so the teacher said, today we're not painting because we have a guest speaker. And she said, you didn't tell me this. And then she flipped out. And so that took about 15 minutes to calm her down. And then we finally got it to work. But that was that was very intimidating to walk in on that. I was like, okay, how is this going to work? Are we going to be able to do this thing today? Ended up going very well. Now, the very first thing I want to talk about, though, is I made a girl cry.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, I did not make this girl cry in a good way. Let me start off with that. So, the beginning of my lecture starts with an introduction on me, how my dad's worked at Marvel as an inker, and then I made the joke. I don't have a picture of my dad, so it's all a PowerPoint. And so I have like my face, and then I have like this 1950s version of a dad like barbecuing. I was like, here's my father. It was supposed to be comical.
Yeah.
And then underneath it said Marvel. And I was like, he used to work at Marvel. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. Yada yada yada. I was like, but he got a little cocky and a little prideful, and he didn't like what Marvel had to say about his own work, so he quit. I said, and not only did he quit Marvel, he quit us. And I said, so Dad's gone, and yeah, public school. Is a yes. So I said, Dad's gone, and a giant X goes over Dad's face. A lot of kids laughed. Majority of the kids laughed.
She did not.
I look over to the corner, and there's this frail young lady bawling. And I'm like, well, Chris. Crap. And I didn't think about it at all. And then so I continue, but I'm very cognizant of it. So I look over, and then she comes, my friend Amanda, who's the teacher, she comes over, and I see her like, kind of like, are you okay? Going over it with her. And she doesn't respond, and then she kind of like pushes the teacher away. She doesn't want to talk about it. And she cries through the entire thing. She never is able to like compose herself. But, thankful to her, she didn't interrupt my speech. But I felt terrible for her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So after I go over and all the kids leave, Amanda comes up to me and she goes, that went extremely well. She goes, you handled everything correctly. She's like, I don't have any like extra questions for you. You hit all the topics. You had a good interaction with the students. They seem to really like you. They all got a copy of the comic book of Artificial, and they were all super pumped. And they asked me a bunch of questions about it, and were showing me like some of their favorite pages as I was going over it, and asked me about this and that and all my inspiration. So it was a lot of fun. And then I mentioned it at the end. I was like, what about the girl who's crying? And she goes, oh yeah, I don't know what happened with her. She wouldn't talk to me. And I was like, I noticed it happened after I said, Dad's gone. And Amanda goes, oh, her dad just died.
Good job, Chris. Ouch.
What the heck am I supposed to do with that? Hey, Amanda, give me a heads up. Of all instances of family member deaths, please, especially if they have to do with dads. I felt so bad. And even Amanda was like, don't feel bad. She's like, you can't like just please, you know what I mean? You can't cater to that. You wouldn't even have known. And I was like, I don't actually feel bad. I was like, I just, I'm sympathetic. Like I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
But it was just funny I was like, Dad's gone. And then for the rest of the day, that played in my head that this girl just here. Her dad just died. Dude, I told that to my artists who, one's in Brazil and one's in Mexico. They died laughing. They laughed so hard at that. And even one of my artists was like, dude, dark humor, it's funny. I was like, I know, but she wasn't laughing, so it's my bad.
Well, she's also young.
Yeah, I felt so bad. Kind of. Anyway, so lecture went really well. They want me to come back and give updates. Maybe I might do I might do a workshop. Oh, she's because of me and the comic book workshop or the comic book lecture, she's going to this week. So this whole week it's happening. I haven't asked her about it yet, but they're being tasked to work in groups and create their own comic book. And they have two different options. They have either create their own or create issue 2 to artificial 1 that they now have in their hands. So basically like continue it on their own.
Cool.
It's kind of cool. And so they're like, she's going to ask me to come back and I'll look at all the comics and like, you know, grade them or whatever, like award one, like a winner or whatever. So I'm pretty excited. So
that's pretty really cool. That is cool.
I want to, if I do another one that's a lecture and doesn't have anything to do necessarily with artificial 2, I think we should do one together. We'll try and figure it out to where we can do it as a group.
I have one actually already scheduled for Wingless once it comes out. So like my boss's wife is a teacher, and she's the same thing. She said in her class the girls all read, right? The girls all love to read. Blah,
That's good.
The guys don't care at all. So she's trying to get the guys involved, and the only way she really knows how to get the guys involved is to do something that is visual. So that trying to get them into comics and getting them to read that way. So we'll see how it goes. But,
all right, cool. By the way, I did pitch you a bit. I said, me and my partner John, who we kind of joined in and made this comic book company together. I was like, he has a couple cool books out. I recommend you go checking them out. And then I said, he's got one coming out that looks really good called Wingless. Could anyone give me an idea of what that's about? I had to do it.
Did you get the answer that I gave you 2 times?
Like 4 or 5 kids were like, a bird without wings. It's like, you got it, kids. And then I just laughed, and they all just stared at me. I was like, I'm sorry.
That was literally my pitch.
This is an inside joke. Yeah, this is an inside joke that you guys aren't a part of, but sorry. Anyway, it really made me laugh.
Good times, man.
Good times.
I couldn't focus on the drawing at
Dude,
Astro.
It's the best pitch. That is the pitch.
And pitch it at the same time. So for some reason, I said the same thing like 40 times.
It is the best video in the world. Okay. That's checked off. We got a couple more minutes and we'll get them in here. 2 things I want to talk about and get your opinion on. And maybe we'll talk with Starmillion about it whenever he comes in. So he'll get a preview of these and then he can give his own opinion. One thing, Ben Gibbons. I had a long conversation with Ben on the phone the other day, specifically about Comic Book Jam. But one of the things we were talking about was outreach and trying to grow, especially with social media as just in the crapper as it is. And he recommended maybe doing live streams along with Spaces. I haven't done that yet or tried it yet, but Twitter Spaces, have you seen that?
Yeah, I'm down. I've been in a few. Yeah.
I haven't done it at all. So I say let's try and test it, not necessarily in a night, but let's try and test one over the week before next live stream. And then next live stream, let's try and incorporate that, and we'll try and time it up to where we have Spaces going at the same time.
They're easy ins and outs. That's why I think people can join them. Like, you can just join, talk, and then leave when you want. I mean, it's not like, and you aren't showing your face either. It's all audio. So
yeah, okay, yeah. So I just want to get your opinion on that. I think we'll try that because anything to kind of help a little bit of a bump. Okay. Last thing is, I don't know if you saw my tweet the other day. But what are your thoughts on this? We do PDFs, right? Digital rewards. So Wingless will have digital rewards. Obviously, Artificial has digital rewards. I'm curious to try and play around with, instead of sending a PDF, just sending a download link for the digital version on Comixology or any of the platforms.
Yeah. I had the same idea. If you already have it uploaded to Comixology, like I guess you can create I would say discount code where it would make the book free if you have it for sale on Comixology, because you can get like preview pages and whatnot, and then if they like it, they can buy the book or whatever online. But I thought about that. There's other ways to do that too. But I mean, ultimately, I just went the PDF route. Send the link to the PDF. They can open it and go. But it isn't a bad idea. It's a couple more steps that they'd have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they
yes
would have,
and no.
I don't know. I don't know if you have to create a comics. I think you would have to create a comics an account to be able to use that. But
I'm wondering if we can set it up to where we just do all of them. So you can have a free link to all of the different platforms.
Yeah.
So whichever one you use, or whichever one you typically like to use, if you don't use Comixology but you use any of the other ones, maybe you just use it on there. I just had that thought because I was wondering, I was like, if there was a way to maybe track some of your digital rewards and not just send them into the ether and be like, oh, here's a PDF, you can view it on your computer or maybe your iPad sometimes. But like if you're a comics guy who's really into digital comics, I'm assuming if you're buying the digital reward, you probably do have a long list of PDFs collected, but you probably also in some way, shape, or form use Comixology or something.
Yeah.
For all your other stuff. So I was thinking it might make it easier for them. And then if you're looking to hopefully sell on Comixology, now you have a download bump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you can keep track of, I mean, you know how many people are reading it based off of who ordered it.
Yeah.
But I think I still have it. Maybe not. Yeah, there it is.
What?
I still have. I transferred my. Oh dang, dude! See, that's crazy. So I transferred the last one. I made it into a webtoon. So I hired somebody to make it into a webtoon. And the last time, so I kind of just let it go. So the last time I looked, it had like 26 views, and it's got almost 500 views on it.
Nice.
10-star rating. Like, holy crap. I haven't logged into this since I made it like probably 6 months ago. So that is very interesting to me. But I don't know. Let me see here. Yeah.
I think
I'll pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
I'll show it.
Let's look at it because this is something I'm curious about doing. And if I have to do it, I'm going to test it after the Indiegogo's done.
So yeah. So is it showing it?
Yeah, I see it.
So yeah. So this was it, man. So I actually had this just from comic book. I gave her all the digital files, and she, we put together this. But yeah, I mean, each one is its own. Like, she did a really good job with it, taking panel by panel. But each one is, I think we broke the book up into 4. But yeah, I mean,
that's another cool thing. Yeah. That's another cool thing is if you get a couple books under your belt and then you start doing webtoons, you can really space it out.
And I like naming the chapters. So I didn't name the chapters in the original. So like, this is Death, Dreams, and Revelations. I'll show you my favorite page. One of my favorite pages in the whole book. Of course, it was a spread page in the original.
I was about to say, how do you do spread pages on here?
So that's a good question because I don't remember how she did it. Right here. So she grabs his arm, and then this is the spread page right here. So she actually joined these together because this wasn't like that, but this is the spread page. This is my favorite panel in the whole book.
It is really cool.
And it's just showing the future, and it's crazy, dude, how well she did on that. But yeah, I did a whole bunch of stuff. Like I named it. See, look, this is the last time I was even on here. So
maybe
yeah,
I
don't know.
Maybe
you
I'll
can do something like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll add that too.
I'll send you the link. But yeah, it has 471 because I just did 2 of them. But I had like 26 views when I looked at this a couple months ago or so.
Well, that's good. All right, yeah, maybe I'll do that.
It's pretty cool.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Oh, this will be the last thing, and then we'll bring him in. But speaking of that, my only update really on Artificial 2 is we are inking. It's coming along really well. We got to a page that I feel so bad for Gabriel, but I pray it goes well. And I tweeted this out. I said, if it translates as good as I'm hoping it does for my brain, it's going to be Gabriel's version of like the Sistine Chapel.
So it's going to be poster.
It has to be.
That good of a deal?
Well, what it is, I'll give you an idea, is after they meet the partition reaches down and touches like Van Gogh's head, like his forehead. And the next page is what happened to bring us to this point. But it's all in Van Gogh style.
Nice.
And it's just this sprawl of all, and it just intertwines, and it's just this story thread, just visual, no text on it at all. And he did a little bit of a sketch on it, and I'm just like, bro, I can't wait. It's gonna look. I pray, and it's gonna look so good. I just pray it translates well, because there's gonna have to be areas where we pull back a little bit on Van Gogh's style, just to make sure everything reads well. You know what I mean? Because if you go too hard onto that wispiness, you're gonna kind of lose track of what's what.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm really pumped for that page. But that's probably gonna be the last thing done in the whole book, because it's gonna take a lot of tweaking. I told him we're going to get this freaking page done right, no matter how long it takes us. We'll have every other page done, and we're just going to work on this until we go, yes.
Heck yeah.
So, I'm really excited about that page. Technically, we'll have 2 shred pages in this book, in Artificial 2. And they're both going to be pretty sweet. All right. Hey, if I say so myself, I'm trying to pitch my freaking book, man.
I'm sorry, man. I'm actually I'm reading the comments on Webtoons.
Yeah, some good comments.
It's just funny. I didn't even know I had these. One guy's like the first one, he's like, "Oh no," and then the second one, it's like, "This is getting interesting."
That's what you want.
Yeah, I know. And then this one,
don't read too far. It's like, man, this
the last one
really
just
sucks.
says, "I enjoy."
That's good.
Hey, somebody liked it.
They enjoy. I enjoy. I think we all enjoy. So that's good.
Anyway, all right.
Now I'm kind of looking for it. I want to do that too. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll probably do that for Artificial 1. Anyone who's interested in getting the PDF, you'll more than likely get I might even change the icon for the reward to like, like all the icons for that, and then a download or something, a digital download. Yeah. So that's what I might do. All right. Without further ado, wake up. I see him. He's down there. So this is Starmillion. Let's bring him on board. He's been stalking my account, and I really appreciate it. He's been one of my number one fans. So I had to bring him on. Everyone, here he is. Hey, there he is.
Well, yeah, sorry, my voice is a bit messed up at the moment.
That was good. Hey, man,
cool.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. It was good to put a face to the Twitter account.
It's something, I'm sure.
Twitter account?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the business account, so I don't have a personal account. I don't know if that's good business or not, but I refuse to have a personal account. I have a business account. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, that webtoon looked really good. Made a note of it, so I'll be checking it out probably tomorrow now. By the time we're done here,
dude.
I need to head
You're
to
up
sleep.
late, man.
Yeah, sorry, man. Well, I just wanted to have you on. I saw some of your stuff, looked interesting. So you're from Scotland, right?
Well, I just moved up to Scotland, to be fair. I was born and raised in London. It got too expensive down there. I was like having to work 60 hours a week and pretty much spend all my money on rent and food. So I decided to move up to Scotland. Now I work 30 hours a week and spend loads of time with the family. So and more time to do comic stuff. So
yeah, congrats. I was about to say, I heard you talking. I was like, he lied to me. He's not from Scotland.
Yeah, no, there's not a fixed Scottish accent. I'm getting there, but I tend to sound like a drunk Scot when I do it. So
I mean, they sound drunk anyway. It's fine. Well, I'm glad to have you on. I know you go by Starmillion. I don't know if you want to give your real name and maybe a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, my name's John as well, so
already.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I'm messing with you.
I got to kick John. Oh, I got to kick the other John.
When you say John, we're both going to answer.
Yeah.
So basically about me is I've loved comics since I was a kid. My dad kind of dragged me into it. He used to collect it a lot, and then he decided to marry my mum, and he sold all his comics. So it was right at that point when they were worth quite a bit. So yeah, like I managed to flick through his Captain Britain collection because, you know, being in England, Captain Britain actually did all right over here. And yeah, so he sold all of that, but I did ruin one of his The Web of Spider-Man #1. When I was about 4 years old, I got hold of it, and because it was in black and white, I thought, oh, I need to color this in. And yeah,
this hurts.
Oh yeah, no, well, so, it did hurt, yeah. Once he was finished, but yeah, no. So after that, kind of just yeah, I went by it for a while, and then as I got older, it kind of dropped off, and then I just happened to stumble upon The Walking Dead one day. I managed to get issue 1, and that just sucked me straight back in. And since then, I've kind of just been playing catch up, but it's a tough old thing to catch up on. So
for real. Yeah, it's like almost trying to catch up on One Piece or something.
Oh God,
it's not possible. That's what I say.
Well, that's my friend told me at around about 600 to start reading it, and I was like, nah, man, it's not for me. Watch the live action. I was like, oh, damn, I really should have started at 600.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a similar through line then, because I was super into it when I was a kid, and then had just a falling out. Didn't really follow it for a while. Didn't follow it, and then just got back into it about a year ago. I've been trying to get we got Ziggy. Yeah, Walking Dead and Sandman is what got me into comics. Have you read Sandman yet? I know Ziggy's super into Sandman.
Yeah, I read that I've read that I was a bit intoxicated on a long coach journey. So I remember bits and bobs of it, but it's on my to read list. To get back in. It was a bit too trippy, and I was already tripping, so it was it wasn't really a good time to be reading it, to be fair.
It's a bad combo. I've been trying to ask people, like, saying, like, imagine a guy from the future coming back to the past, or basically like someone who's been gone forever, and then they're just coming back. What's something you recommend them to read to kind of like catch back up, or something they might have missed over the last 30 years? Because that's kind of what it's been to me. I'm not really asking you per se, unless you have something, but I mean, that's kind of, I'm in the same boat as you. And I'm like, I know it's like playing catch up. It's like, I know there are things that came out in the last 30 years that I should read. What are they? Like, where should I pick up? What should I try and catch? What like one-off issues should I pick up, or anything like that? I haven't had anyone really recommend me anything too much other than Sandman, Walking Dead, but I've read some of that. Not Sandman yet, though.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. There's just so much to pick from.
So much.
When because I fell off Marvel pretty hard. Like, to be fair, Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four dragged me back into Marvel, and that made me a bit of a massive Hickman fan, to be fair. And I've been enjoying his stuff, but that's the thing. And then it just started costing so much money. I was just like, I got to like take care of the kids, pay the rent and everything. So
it's an expensive hobby, man. That's what it's like. And then to your point, I've had a couple of people I saw online the other day. They're like, when did comics become so expensive? And I didn't have time. I was too busy working my other job to really comment. But I wanted to kind of like get, and I'm sure you probably have a bit of insight into it as well, like you mentioned, because it's got so expensive that I think it costs a lot to make now. And then even when you jump into the idea of an indie comic, because this is all like a segue into you're currently creating an indie comic, your own comic, like there's a lot involved, including monetarily. There's a lot.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, especially with the time scale that they do, like the big two, they bang out a book a month, and then however many runs they got going on of different characters. So it's like I'm stuck at like maybe 1 to 4 pages a month with my artist,
right?
And so for them to be pumping out 30 is obviously costing so much, and
Yeah.
you want a certain level to standard to it as well. Like I know you could probably get someone a bit cheaper but they just don't sell. So it's just throwing money down the toilet, to be honest. So I think they're trying to do that, and I don't want to say it, but most it's probably a little bit of greed as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
Everyone wants to make more money, but it is what it is. I just got to hide all my purchases from my wife. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mostly now though, I'm focusing on more indie comics and purchasing through, off just normal people who want to kind of create their own stories, because there's a bit more heart in it, and when you can interact with the creator,
that's
more
really
of an
cool
emotional one. You get an attachment to the comic, so something you wouldn't usually try. It's something. It's just nicer, kind of giving back to the community as well, instead of just giving it to a CEO who's on his 5th vacation of the year. So,
yep. No, I feel you there. Well, what's before we talk about your comic, what's like an indie comic you've enjoyed recently, or something that you've picked up that you recommend?
What is it? I made a list of loads of things because I've got a terrible memory, hence the trippiness. I took a Hammer to Hell's really good. It's
great.
Matt Garvey, and he's also got Big Off effing Worms, which I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but it's a wild ride, to be fair. That I literally just read that yesterday, and what else have I got recently? Magic Powder. I've enjoyed that as well. But
I got that whole series, yeah.
Yeah, I picked up the volume, so no, definitely. So that at the moment is what I would recommend, just because I've had a good time with it. Someone else will as well, and it sounds like you guys have. So
yeah, I got them both. Matt Garvey's got some great stuff. I didn't back. Money's been, I'm doing my own campaign right now. Money's been super tight, so I didn't back. I took a Hammer to Hell 2, but I might try and pick it up at some point. But yeah, he does great. He does great work.
Oh yeah, he's he has a YouTube channel as well. That's kind of where I came across the idea of, wait, I can make my own comic, like kind of thing. So I've got owe him a lot, but that'll be that's definitely something. And it seems to be priced quite well, so
for sure. I had a whole conversation about it with him, because he prices it pretty low, but it's one of those things where I think we kind of discussed it a little bit, but there is a snippet of a difference when you deal with like a writer paying for an artist and a letter and everything, and then someone who is doing everything themselves, because pretty much the majority of the cost there is in time, not 100%, not a ton in actual monetary value. So for me to make, let's say, Artificial One, that was a little over $5,000 by the time I was all said and done, paying everyone off, everyone's happy. That's not including print. That's not including all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I had to price it a little higher just to try and make sure I made some of that back. But so there's a little bit of difference there, but his are very well priced for what they are. They're very high quality for a good price. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out anything he's got for sure.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like when you're doing it all yourself, like time is money. So if you're having to draw it, you're writing it, you're doing everything pretty much for it. It's a full-time job. Like, well, actually, it's about 2 full-time jobs once you actually do it. So, yeah, no, my comic, I'm being a bit cheap with it. Like, it's taken me almost 2 years, and I'm only on page 22 out of 32. So, still got a while to go. But
it's not bad though. You're getting pretty close.
Getting there. Like, I had a friend who was going to do the lettering, but he pulled out. So I've been learning how to do that myself so far, and I just put a couple of pages off online and let people rip it apart, but take all of that on board and kind of make the adjustments. So
it's a great idea.
Yeah, so I've been doing that.
So why don't we talk about it then? So because I've seen a couple of the pages. I didn't feel free to rip them apart or anything because they looked really cool. I just thought they looked great. So if you want to share them, you can, any of the current pages or anything like that, because I'd love to like show people. But feel free to like tell us a little bit about the comic, what your plans are, what it's about, your inspiration, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, like the story came to me in like 2015. I was bored at work. I used to work at the Science Museum in central London, and when it's not summer holidays or half term, there's nothing to do apart from look at all the cool science stuff. But
yeah,
once you've worked there for 6 months, you've seen it all. And everyone there, like, I'm very working class background. Before that, I was a laborer, like just on building sites, and everyone there's like undergrads, like wanting to be scientists and stuff. And yeah, I was chatting to one of my co-workers, and she was like, "Oh, did you know metal in space, like if it's not got an oxygen like layer around it, they just stick together?" I was like, "No, I didn't know that." And kind of it just span out of there. So yeah, basically I've always had a thing about where does your consciousness come from, so I just kind of tied everything together. So this one is pretty much about a guy called Robert, and basically they found this unknown metal in his blood. There is a big backstory with it, and hopefully I get to tell all of that. But in this first one, it's just him kind of coming to terms that he's different, and everyone keeps telling him that he has to save the world. But then his conscious from the future comes back and tells him, no, you can't save the world, because if you save the world, you don't. So yeah, it gets a bit, it's a bit time travel-y, but mentally. So yeah, I haven't really found a way to describe it yet, because it is just pretty a mental adventure of him learning that he needs to save the world, but in a certain way.
Yeah. Well, what's it called?
Orium.
And I'm assuming that's the metal.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, I did check. No, nothing else is called Orium in the world.
The first thing you do. You do a nice little Google search, and you're like, all right, I'm safe.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm not gonna get anyone coming after me saying, "Oh yeah, no, we have that." So there is one random Twitter account called it, which started years ago.
I hate that.
It hasn't been active, and I was just like, God damn it! Like I really wanted that handle, but hey, it is what it is.
Orium 2. You know, sometimes you gotta. No, I'm just kidding. It's the worst. I mean, it sounds cool. So that's one of my favorite things, is finding inspiration just randomly. And I don't know if that's similar to you, or if you have, because I know you said like this is the one idea that kind of popped, obviously based off just a little conversation you had. I don't know if that's a theme with you, because it's 100% a theme with me, where it's like I'll be listening to music or a song, and there will be a lyric that I was like, I never really thought about what that actually means, or what they're trying to say there, and then my mind will just unravel technically.
Well, that's I'm a pretty random guy. I wrote a lot of short stories, novellas before actually jumping into comics, and the first thing I ever wrote was a musical. Like I was that bored at the Science Museum. Honestly, I had nothing to do that. Bored. You can if you ever get onto the computer system there, you'll find just countless stories. I just used to send them to people
on the notepad or something like that on the work computer.
Pretty much, yeah. And I did it on almost every computer there. So like, well, it got to the point where I was running out of ideas. So I just started going on a random word generator. I'd take 5 words, whatever randomly popped up, and I'd make a short story out of that. And kind of, if it was something that kind of picked up, I'd just keep going with it. So yeah, I got a few that I want to now turn into future comics. So
cool.
Hopefully I do that further down the line, but see how it goes, to be honest. But yeah, random. I'm just pure chaos, and just let me see where it goes.
That's my.
Those are the most fun though, dude. That's what comics are about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's I know people have their ways of doing things, but Yeah, no, like just go for it, man. Like,
Yeah, that's why I was on a creator roundtable Saturday, and there was a section of it where they all started to break down how they wrote comics, and they were going over like, well, I go issue by issue, and I do this long, like, sprawling map of like all my ideas, make sure they're all connected correctly, and then all my plot points, and then I'll start writing a little bit of the comic. I was like, I don't do any of that. I was like, am I doing this wrong? I mean, this is granted, John and I are in John. Is that John? Is this John? And I are in a very similar boat of like, we're new, and technically we're all fairly new to comics and creating them. But so I don't necessarily think there is a right or wrong way to do it, as long as the story gets told. It gets told well. It obviously needs to get told well. So there is a wrong way to present it, but your process, I don't think necessarily is a wrong or right way. So like for me, I don't do all that planning stuff. Maybe I should, but I was even like worried to say it because they're all like going, I was like, oh, I use this program, like this spreadsheet program. I was like, that sounds like a waste of time. but that's just because I told him, I was like, imagine playing D&D. I don't know if you're into D&D or I'm sure everyone in the world is familiar with D&D now, that thanks to Stranger Things and everything. If you weren't before, but imagine D&D, like you role play as a character. That's typically how I write. So I know point A, point B, and point C. Like I know the beginning, middle, and end of an issue, and then let's just see how the characters get there. That's just how I do it. And if it ends good. If I retweak stuff, or I go back through and like, okay, this doesn't necessarily make sense, and I'll do some rewrites. But otherwise, I have no process. I just write. And so far it works best. So I don't know if you are similar. It sounds like you're kind of similar in that.
Yeah, no, I literally just take the ball and run. Like I wrote Orium like before, when I was back in London, I was doing night shifts, so kind of gave me a lot of time to sit down and write. And I think I wrote like the first 4 issues just in like a couple of nights, just because.
Awesome.
Why not? I had nothing else to do, so yeah. I keep finding those jobs where I've got nothing else to do apart from things I want to do and getting paid for it. So
it's nice. I mean, that's the one way to skirt that idea of like trying to be creative. It's like just find something that you don't really have much to do. Yeah. And they're paying you. So
night
a lot of
security guards.
Yeah, night security guard. Yeah.
But that's what I was doing. So
that's a perfect job for a comic book writer, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's honestly like it's pretty much the same thing. You find your little niche for whatever it is, and then I just build up around it. Like Orium, it was about metals joining together, and then I was like, oh well, what about if the human, like instead of iron in your blood, it's Orium in your blood? But and then the reason you've got consciousness is because Orium sparks in your brain, and that's where your consciousness comes from. So, and over time, it's just been diluted. And but
I mean, would you have any you'd like to show? Because I wouldn't mind. I love seeing things. I don't know if you have anything.
I am on the laptop where I do everything. So
hopefully you got something there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I can use Word and Google Docs, and that's about it.
How about this? I will share my screen. I'm already on your Twitter, on your pinned tweet, and it shows 4 pages. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Go for it, man.
I had a bad feeling you were going to be just too tired to even present your screen.
No, for you. I'll learn how to do it. It's good, but yes.
All right, so here is your Twitter. So here, let me know if everyone sees it. You see it, right?
No.
Yeah,
I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so real quick, just the third panel on this. So I like so he puts on his glasses, right? And that white circle. So walk me through that real quick.
So yeah, basically something's like that black panel is basically something quite big happened a page before. And that's just there. I have lettered this page, and the bald guy is like a German scientist, and it's got the little like wake up, like I can't do it because my voice is messed up right now, but it's all the like Robert, wake up even. That's it.
Wake up. There you go.
Yeah.
Those V's going.
And then that's just a torch shining down on him to kind of wake him up.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, I really like the art style. It's really cool. Let's go to the next one. Got some nice actiony stuff here. I love it.
Yeah, so
black and whites, man, they look good.
I know. Are you planning on having it be black and white only or colored?
Yeah, black and white only. Like
I like it.
I am taking that inspiration from The Walking Dead pretty much. Because one, it keeps costs down, and two, if you get it done right, I feel like it can tell the story well. Like I understand color plays a huge part, but certain things like I like black and white. It's pretty simple. It's all the comics I read when I was younger even were black and white. So yeah.
I like it, man. It looks great. Who's your artist? If you don't, because you said it's obviously not you, right? You mentioned hiring an artist.
Yeah. It's an Italian guy I found on Fiverr. It's basically I can never pronounce his name right without butchering it, to be honest. But it's Guido, and then his surname is let me grab it for you because I'll butcher it even though I'll say it. Italian guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Pappalardo. So Guido Pappalardo.
Well, shout out to him. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
this guy kind of reminds me of Val Kilmer.
See, that's the thing.
That's what the face model looks like.
Yeah, it was supposed to be because I kind of thought, how am I gonna say what this guy looks like? But so I just grabbed Kurt Russell from the thing and was just like,
okay,
I want him
I can
to
see
look
that too.
like that. And then for the guy in the door, there is his future consciousness.
Yeah.
So basically, I was like, shave him, put him in a suit, kind of thing, make him
fancy him up a bit.
Yeah. So
I like it. Man.
But yeah,
it looks great.
That's Orion very much.
Yeah.
There's little caveats to it.
So what's your roadmap or game plan for it? You said you're 22 pages into 32. You said.
Yeah, so it's a 32-page comic. Basically, I'm hoping to have it done by February next year, and then because I'm gonna, now that I've got more time, I'm gonna start. And like my rent now is like £600 a month compared to $2,000, so wow. I'm able to spend a lot more money on it.
Hold on. I missed that because I read a comment. What did you just say?
My rent in London was £2,000. My rent in Scotland 600. So I've got a lot more money now. So I'm gonna try push for 4 or 5 pages, depending on, obviously. I don't rush the artist. He needs to do what he needs to do. Like the only reason it looks as good as it does because of the work that he puts in. So
100%.
I've told him we're looking for February. He feels confident with that. So as long as I pay him, we'll be all done by then. Because I'm a firm believer of I essentially want it in my hand before I even put it on anything, because I've seen a few people running and this isn't run your campaigns however you want to, obviously, but when I see some people running a campaign and they're like, oh yeah, we got 4 pages, and if you fund us $3,000 in a year's time, you'll have the comic. And I'm kind of like if it's amazing, all right, I might be down for that. But
you really got to blow me away with these 3 pages.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I want it. So when I put it on there, if it gets funded, I'm to be honest, my whole dream is to tell stories. I've had stories since I was a kid. I used to lie through my teeth with crazy stories. I wasn't a good kid, but I wasn't a bad kid.
You were a kid.
Yeah. So had crazy stories. Always wanted to be a director. Didn't pay attention in school. Ended up working on a building site. Always was told, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. Found indie comics and really want to make all the dreams that my younger self had come true, pretty much. That's so even if I lose money on this first one, I'm fine with that. I just want to get it out there and then at least get the first 4 issues out. And if I fail spectacularly, cool. I've done it. Like I've ticked it off like the bucket list. I've met a lot of great people and getting a lot of great comics. So I'm winning. I'm still winning. So
yeah. I mean, it's fun too, right? Like I'm just having fun right now.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, like I like being creative. I'm trying to force my kids to be more creative. They're quite young, but one of them just plays the Switch all the time, and the other one's just mental, to be honest. But yeah, like cheers, man.
Yeah, my kids just play the Switch too, but he's I got a daughter who's 10 and a son who's 7, and I'm trying to do very similarly, like trying to get them into being creative. Like if I find out they're like doodling or drawing or writing, like, you know, sometimes I remember being a kid, it's like, stop doodling. It's like, no, doodle, you know what I mean? Draw, do something creative. I'd much rather you do that than play the Switch right now.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you could stream playing Fortnite and get us $1 million, it's fine. But you're not that good yet. So
yeah,
doodle. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like well, the oldest is 8, the youngest is 5. So the 8-year-old, he likes Minecraft, all of that. Like what most 8-year-olds kind of like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought him the Teen Titans Go comics to kind of be like, here, look, this is a way in. And then I just got the first issue of the new Transformers because I loved Transformers when I was growing up, and he read it before me, and I probably should have read it before he read it because there's a few things I was like, oh, all right, maybe you shouldn't have seen that. Yeah. But then again, like when I was 6, the first film I remember watching was Terminator 2. So
okay, hold on. I feel like other than the hair and the fact that you sound much sexier than I do, we're like the same person. That was the first. That was the same movie. That was the first movie that I remember watching, Terminator 2. I went home. My grandpa was babysitting me, and he put on Terminator 2, and I went home and just cursed my mom out for like an hour, and so they had to like go back. Like, what'd you let him watch? I was like, yeah, just the Terminator 2. What do you want? So like I've always watched that kind of stuff from a young age, and that turns into a bit of an argument between my wife and myself because I just watched the Meg with my son.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
he's 7, and this is the thing. He was scared. You know, I wanted to watch Jaws with him, but there was no Jaws streaming at the moment. I didn't feel like I don't own it, so I was like, let's watch Jaws. He wanted to watch a shark movie, and I was like, oh, the Meg's on. I was like, let's watch the Meg. And so we watch it, and of course, you have those moments where he's like, and that was so fun watching him like go through like big boy emotions almost. You know what I mean? Like you're scared for a minute, but you're also curious, and you want to see what happens. And now, you know, he was terrified at the end. My wife comes home. He rats me out immediately. I'm like, dude, we watched Paw Patrol all day, right? And he goes, Mom, we watched the Meg. I was like, buddy, come on. And so my wife was pissed at me. And now all he wants to do is watch the Meg 2 because it's out. And so, but like, that's the kind of thing, like, that's how I grew up. You know, I watched Alien and Aliens when I was super young, Terminator 2, RoboCop, all those movies. That's like, there's no way. I had no right watching that.
No, I had a load of Alien toys when I was like, it's like during the day I'd watch Power Rangers, and then in the evening I'll be there playing with Alien toys, like pushing the back of the head, the little mouth popping out.
I had that too.
Yeah, I was killing Ripley, and then my parents would walk and be like, what are you doing? And I was like, playing with aliens. Like,
I'm blowing Ripley's face out. Just watch. Just 4 years old. It's like, yeah, he's going to be fine. All right, parents. There's a 50-50 chance he won't be, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah,
we turned out okay.
My mom would
back me up, man. We turned out okay.
We're solid. It's all good.
All right, we're solid. All right.
Yeah, but no, I got my kid to watch Ready Player One, and completely forgot about the Shining bit in it. And yeah, he was like trying to cover his face, and I was like, it's not real. It's fine. You'll be fine. It's because that's what I got told during Batman Returns when Danny DeVito's stealing all the firstborn sons of Gotham. I was like, was like, that's me.
Yep, that was my first movie I saw in theaters. Was that, and
nice.
It's terrifying. It is Tim Burton, just what the heck, man. And Danny DeVito as man, it's a scary. Like I go back and just look at images of Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I was like, this is just, and he like bites the hand off that guy, or no,
the nose,
the nose, right, dude?
He bites the nose.
What am I doing here?
And it's like black. It's like the blood was like black.
Man, it's so twisted.
It's like coming out of his mouth. Oh my gosh,
but,
I remember
hey,
that.
Yeah, I'm 6 years old or 5 years old watching it on the big screen.
I saw Tremors when I was a kid, and I walked by, and I just remember like I wasn't allowed to watch it. I was kind of like looking around the corner, my parents were watching it with their friends, and I just remember like going to my bed and not wanting to get back up because I was scared if I walked, something was gonna hear me and come and kill me. Yeah. So the next morning, my mom's like trying to get me out of bed, and I'm like, I don't want to walk anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere. And then she's like, "You were in the hallway." I was like, "Oh watched. My gosh."
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. My kids wouldn't have. I think that's a good experience for a kid to have, kind of. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of a monster under the bed. Idea. And it's like, it's not that, like, if your kid grows up never being scared of anything, but not because he's brave, but because he's never experienced, you know what I mean? He's never encountered anything. And it's not necessarily good. So like, I keep telling that to my wife. I was like, just let him climb the tree. Let him watch the Meg 2. Cause I want to watch it too, please. You know what I mean? It's like, we got to get these kids, get a little dirt under their fingernails.
So Exorcist on Friday.
Yes, of course.
No, I'm trying to get my wife to it. My wife's not even watched that. I watched it the other night, and then I was like, when I was younger, I was scared of it. Watched it the other night. I was like, this is just a great film. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's get the kids in on it. All right. Well, that was our parenting advice segment. I apologize, everyone. Don't listen to us. But anyway, it was great having you on, Starmillion. I like the concept for sure of the comic book. It looks really cool. I would highly recommend anyone watching definitely go sub or go follow on Twitter and all the fun things, because you're on Instagram too, right? And
I only really use Twitter. Like I spend too much time on Twitter as it is. I don't need more social media to be going to. Though I should to kind of.
It's the only reason. The only reason is to promote. Otherwise, I don't want it. Yeah, keep it away from me. It's a nightmare. Okay. Well, anyway, follow him on Twitter. So we're looking for maybe February for the comic. Can't wait. Looks really cool. Keep us updated. Maybe we'll have you back on when you get closer, and we'll show it off, or maybe even have a launch party for you when your Kickstarter starts, or whatever you plan on using.
Yeah. No, I'm probably going Kickstarter just because it's, like I said, I'm nice and simple, and it seems like the easiest one to go through. But thanks for having me on, guys. Honestly, I've been rewatching your old videos for the last couple of days now, because I just YouTube everything pretty much. So yeah.
Same here.
No, you're doing great.
Thanks, man. Keep bumping up our numbers. We appreciate it. Just watch them each a couple hundred times, and we'll get partnered pretty soon. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming. I'm gonna kick you on out of here, and then we'll have our goodbyes. So we'll catch you later. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Get some sleep, man. Take it easy.
Sleep.
Will do. See you later.
Have a good one, brother.
There was a Starmillion. Looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I was getting like the midichlorian vibes, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, from like Star Wars.
Yeah.
People didn't like the midichlorians. You know what?
No, because I think it took away a little bit from like the feeling like they were connected to something like the Force, rather than it be like you were born with the powers already kind of in your blood, or whatever your connection. But it's the same concept.
Yeah, who cares? Star Wars is Star Wars, man.
Just go watch Tremors. Don't
love anything that much, okay? If it bothers you, you like it too much. You know what I mean?
Dude, Star Wars is so good. Anyways,
it is good. I love
Star Wars. It was like the base. It was like kind of like one of the stories that really made me feel for a character like Anakin, like when growing up. But when he betrayed everyone, and my biggest, like, where it really gripped me the most was when he, like, turned so dark that his love for Padme, he couldn't even like comprehend that it was still real.
Yeah.
And that's what killed me, man. That's what killed me.
Yep. I liked it, man. It was good stuff.
For sure, man.
Thanks, Zig. Comic book Jom. No one's gonna have any idea. I'm not even gonna share it. Stop. All right. I'm glad you spent your time on that, Ziggy. Thank you. I'll take it into consideration. But anyway, that's it. I think we're pretty much good. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about or update wise, or?
I mean, I still got my books done. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'm kind of sitting there. I have like 25 copies of this thing sitting at my house. 25, and I'm just kind of like, what do I do with it? Like, yeah. I mean, nobody read it except for me and my wife.
Just hold on to it.
We'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get it when it's ready.
No, I don't know. I actually think I'm gonna release it November like 10th or something like that, like the second week in November.
So Ziggy, hold on. Ziggy used an AI software when he claims to be the #1 fan of BentBox and the Artificial series. I'm starting to not believe you. Anyway, what do you have to say for that, Ziggy? But speaking of that, because I'm going to get Artificial 1 reprinted pretty soon, and then we'll wrap up, I kind of want to get updated ads because basically the same format is going to be there, but then I want to put, Wingless and the last one too, probably.
Yeah.
So 100%. I just need some updated pics from you, and then I'll throw those in there to replace what we got.
Yeah. Whatever you need, send me, and I'll send you,
and we'll send each other. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Eccentric, thanks for joining us and being a part of the BentBox. We appreciate it. Spread the word, and go back my comic Artificial, please, because I need it. All right, love you. We're getting close. Please, someone help. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye. Say goodbye, John.
Goodbye, John.
Bye, John.